Be a smart water commercial.
And then, Tyler, this.
Unless they're going to write some shots.
And then this robo is going to slide.
Okay, I like it when someone slides me.
Listen, it's my favorite part. Sometimes I am in the wrong spot.
I just slid the
he
desk.
Can move it.
Just so you can move.
No. Just so we can move it.
Lighting issues. Good. Have a. Yes. No. Any instructions?
Slide or good?
Yeah, because it's, I mean, do they
You want me
need
to
to
move
move over
over?
this way?
To your left.
Yeah, because it's all
we
about
happy now?
them. They have to be in the spotlight.
Okay.
Is that good?
Cool.
Okay. And then, Tyler, you're going to move this robo.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
I'm gonna move this camera right where you're standing. You can stand here though. Yeah, well, she needs it.
Perfection. Oh, can you bring it up a little bit more? My 40-something eyeballs.
Is that your camera, your prompter? Yeah.
Yes. Like my 40-something eyeballs.
I know.
All right, so the first camera 3 first. All right. All right. Camera 2. Ready?
Just go with the beat.
All right, cool. Hey, man, it's my first time. Not bad. I've been doing the gator time for my whole life. Everybody ready?
Let's go.
We're ready.
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
Boom. Standing by.
Booja. Major look. Okay, now we're ready.
Standing by.
We are joined now by Jenna Bush Hager and Barbara Pierce Bush, Texans, former first daughters and authors of a new children's book called The Superpower Sisterhood. Welcome, ladies.
Thanks
so glad to
much
have you
for
here.
Thanks for having us.
We're happy to have you here, especially back in Texas. It is such a delight. You're talking about your new children's book. Tell us all about it.
Yeah. Well, we wrote The Superpower Sisterhood really as an ode to our mom. It's about an only child, which sounds kind of unusual for a book about sisters, but it's about a little girl who dreams of having siblings. And then a group of sisters move onto her block, and they make her feel more powerful than she ever thought possible. So it's about how sisterhood in all of its forms, and friendship and family can make us feel brave.
Absolutely, and I love that you really focus on sisterhood in a broader sense of the term. So you have biological sisters and you have those girlfriends who are like our sisters that we're so close to. What do you hope readers get out of the book?
Well, we hope they see the power of sisterhood. In our book, each of the girls has a power that's a normal power. One's great at dancing, one's great at math, one's great at design. And then when all of them are together, their powers become super powerful. And that's how we feel about sisterhood. When we have our best friends or our blood sisters who walk alongside us and have our back, then all of a sudden we can do more than we ever thought we could. And that's what we want our readers, whether they're young or old, to see and remember and support their sisters in whatever form they are.
Absolutely, and I'm curious to know, Jenna, what's your superpower?
Well, I should tell you my sister's superpower because I don't really know my own. But my sister's superpower is that she has a huge heart and that she puts it to action, more importantly, which I think is so, she didn't just like sit with that heart, but she gives it to the world. She started a global health non-for-profit. She works tirelessly to make sure others' lives are better.
That's so sweet, Sissy. Well, I'll answer your original question.
Yes.
My sister's superpower. She has two. One, she's really funny, which I've benefited from my whole life.
Although she regrets laughing at me.
I mean, I might have enabled her when we were younger.
At least you can be honest about it.
So we've realized that now. But also she loves making other people laugh and she brings joy, which is why she ended up in the perfect career on the Today Show. She's an entertainer every morning, making people smile when they wake up.
You make me want to have a sister. I need to go and talk to my parents about that.
Or go
definitely
talk to
my
your best
bestie.
girlfriend.
My bestie. I think about the bond that the two of you share. It's evident. It is a very strong bond. I'm curious to know what it was like growing up, and particularly growing up in the White House. How did you maintain that bond with all of the lights, camera, action, activity around you?
Well,
Well, we lived here. We lived in Austin.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't really grow up in the White House. Our dad became president when we were 18. So Austin and Texas so much more informed our childhood.
Yeah.
Which, thank God. I mean, that's an easier way to grow up.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, definitely when we woke up one morning and our dad was president, and our life changed drastically. And I don't know that when you're 18 years old, you understand that. But I mean, I went to college right here down the road at UT, and I went one day going by myself to the next with Secret Service and fanny packs, you know, following me everywhere. But I think definitely Barbara and I are constantly grateful that we had each other, because we both understood what it was like, and we could lean on each other and also experience all the beauty in it as well together.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we got to travel with our parents across the country and the world, and that is so incredible when travel is always incredible, but when you're 18 to 24 and you're figuring out who you are, that type of exposure is so amazing. And then we had a partner that had the same shared experience as us, which really mattered.
That is so special. But yes, things definitely change when your parents, you know, are the president and the first lady, for sure. And I'm so glad that you had each other to lean on during those years. So another time when you've had the opportunity to lean on each other is during motherhood. So I want to speak about that. First with you, Jenna. 3 beautiful children, plus a busy job, as we just mentioned. How are you balancing all of that?
Well, I don't really balance it that well. I hate the word balance, because I feel like nobody asks my husband how he balances things. You know what I mean? He
That
just
makes
does,
sense.
right?
Right.
But I feel like I'm proud that my kids see me. I mean, they don't actually see me. I leave the house before they're even awake. But working hard, it shows my girls what's possible, you know? And also, I try to just be present where I am. When I'm with my kids, I put my phone away, I'm hanging with them, and I hope they feel that. I hope they feel that unconditional love. And that's my hope for moms, is that we don't have to always be connected here, you know. Let's like look into our kids' eyes and read with them and hang with them and do nightly dance parties, because those are the memories that we're going to remember.
So for you, and it's so good that we're talking about this, so many moms who are watching, we hear so often about life-work balance.
Yeah.
For you, it's not about life-work balance. For you, it's about being present in whatever given situation that you're in.
I went on a one-woman tirade. My poor sister had to witness me go against the word balance, just because I feel like balance is a word that makes women feel less than, because none of us are really balanced, you know? So yes, I try to be present where I am. And also something that happened during the pandemic, like the depths of 2020, is that I gave up guilt.
Yeah.
You know, we're all doing the best we can. So I'm trying to be as kind to myself as I would be to my sister, to my girlfriends, and it makes mothering a lot easier.
That is an excellent point, and it's something that you consider, I imagine, as you are now a mom of a precious baby girl, Cora Georgia. Tell us about her.
Well, she's adorable. She's 6 months old. She was a preemie. She shocked us, and she came 6 weeks early. I thought I was going to deliver her in New York, and my husband and I were in Maine for the weekend. And all of a sudden at 4 a.m, I went into labor, and we were Googling the closest hospital. Luckily, we made it there in time, because she was a little mini woman on a mission. She was ready to join us. And she spent the first few weeks in the NICU. And one thing that was unbelievable, we didn't know this, but the NICU where she spent her first few weeks was actually the Barbara Bush Children's Hospital, named after my grandmother, which of course felt divine in every way. And in a time that's scary, when you want to make sure your baby's healthy and I wasn't leaving with her the way I thought that I had envisioned. I just felt so much relief thinking that perhaps my grandmother had a hand in it somehow.
Absolutely.
And now she's great. She doesn't look like a preemie.
She's not a preemie.
She's chunky
you say
and
she's healthy.
Yeah,
She's
we never
very
say
healthy.
she's
Very, very healthy.
She's very healthy, and it's been so much fun to get to know her and have a little miraculous creature who changes every day.
I wonder what you see in yourself that's like your mother. Are you noticing that you're saying things like your mom, or doing things like your mom, or are you charting your own path, or is it a blending of both?
I think it's a blending of
Absolutely.
both. I mean, I feel like even today, I just went and we're, on our book tour. I was speaking and somebody was like, "You talk just like your mom." Like, I think both of us have her mannerisms in us, and we both love to read. Incessantly. She was a
Absolutely.
librarian.
Yes, I
so
know.
that's from her.
Yes, I know.
That's definitely from her. And I think, the one thing that I hope to emulate, although I'm not the way she is, our mom is preternaturally calm.
Very calm.
Like we were
it's
like,
hard to rile her.
yeah, we tried.
I mean, we really tried.
tried.
in
We
middle
only
school.
did twice.
We
Give
did
me
twice.
that example.
Well, it was
Yeah, you don't want to hear
You
it.
don't want to hear
Oh,
it.
no.
It was sort of a typical 13-year-old girl situation.
And the problem is as we said, I mean, she's the inspiration for this book. She's
Yes.
an only child.
Yes.
And we are twins, and it's in some ways
the opposite.
The opposite. Two at once
Right.
was very overwhelming. We went after, double teamed.
And she stayed calm.
She stayed calm.
So I hope to somehow inherit
Maybe
some of that.
genetically we'll get
We
that.
don't
It
know.
hasn't really manifested
No.
yet, but we don't know.
No, we're gonna try to work on that.
I'm curious also to know, what Texas values do you want to impart in your children, if any? And what about your upbringing that you want to make sure is a part of your children's lives?
Yeah. Well, I feel like a major Texas value is to dream big. There's a reason everyone says everything's bigger in Texas. And I love that, the idea of possibility and that you don't need to be limited. And I hope that my daughter knows that. She doesn't know that quite yet because
Right.
I'm not sure she's
Maybe
taking it all
intrinsically.
in.
Yeah.
She knows she's a
But the
genius.
idea, well, she is a genius.
Yeah.
But the idea that that the sky is actually the limit, and that if we dream big and work hard, we can achieve what we want. And I love that as a mindset in Texas, that I definitely feel more here than I do in the other places that I've lived.
I think also Texans are so kind.
Yeah.
The first time my husband came to Texas, he's from Virginia. Virginians are kind too. But the first time he came, he was like, "Those people just brought us breakfast tacos, out of the kindness of their heart." And I'm like, yes. I mean, we live in New York City, so
Right.
people don't really
No.
do that. So that kindness and compassion is something we want to teach our kids. My oldest daughter goes to camp in Texas, sleepaway camp. She started last year. It's the same camp Barbara and I went to. It's the camp my dad went to. So, I mean, people in New York think it's hilarious that we're going down to Texas where it's so hot in
Right.
the summer. There's no air conditioning. But I think what she's learning is the beauty of nature, too.
Yeah.
I mean, Austin, all over Texas, is some of the most beautiful landscape. And I think we sort of take it for granted. But when you leave and you come back and there's the wildflowers and Big Bend and West Texas, our state is magnificent.
It is.
And it's still our state, even though we haven't lived here.
It always
Good.
will be.
Yeah.
Always, always. There's no place like home. There's
No.
no place like Texas. Okay, pop quiz. Finish this statement for me. Texas women are.
Can we cuss?
I know.
Bad.
I was going to have a
Bad to
sissy
the
moment.
bone.
Bad to the bone.
Bad
You know
to the
what
bone.
we would say if we could.
Oh yeah, oh
They are.
yeah. How about for you? Texas
Well, I was
women
going to say
are.
the same thing.
exact
I
same
had
thing.
some sort of psychic twin moment.
Bad
Yeah.
to the bone. Tell me why.
Because they're, both of our grandmothers were from Texas.
Yes.
And I feel like Texas women aren't afraid to get down and dirty and make things happen, and also both of our grandmothers taught us to use our voices.
Yeah.
They weren't okay.
In different ways.
Yes.
They were very different.
Yes.
Obviously, most people know our grandmother, Barbara, but our mom's mom, Jenna, who Jenna's named after, lived in West Texas her whole life. And she taught us the importance of using our voice, too, just in a more gentle way than our other grandmother might have been.
But
Got
our grandmother Barbara, for example, she was devoted to my grandfather. She loved him, but she wasn't afraid to speak her own mind.
Right. Be her own
Yeah,
person.
be her own
Yes.
person. She
Yes.
had different political opinions and she voiced them. And I think that's what we know. And we have so many best friends that still live here, and they're just awesome. They make things happen, and that's why we're proud to be Texas
Yeah,
women.
absolutely.
Oh my goodness, I love it. So we have a number of girls who watch our newscast as well. Any advice for young girls? There's just so much happening in the world today. Any advice for Texas girls and young adults?
Well, I mean, I think it has so much to do with the theme of our book, Find Your Sisterhood.
Yeah.
It might be your sister, it might be your neighbor, it might be your school friend, it might be someone else, but find someone that makes you feel great about yourself and do that to your friends as well. I think it's easy for girls, especially now, to compare themselves to each other or to what they see online, and who cares? You're your unique, wonderful, fabulous individual, and celebrate that in yourself and your friends.
I love it. I'm inspired. I imagine so many people who are watching are inspired as well. You're on your book tour.
Yeah, we
Tell
are.
us about the tour before we wrap up.
Okay, we were in Houston yesterday.
We're in Austin today.
We're headed to a book signing this evening at Book People, which is our favorite
Local bookstore.
local Austin indie bookstore. So go there if you want to get the Superpower Sisterhood later.
Tomorrow we'll be in College Station.
Yes.
And then tomorrow afternoon we will be at Barnes & Noble in Arlington, Texas.
And then Sunday we have an event at the Bush Center, our dad's library in Dallas. So any of those places,
Come see us.
superpowersisterhood.com.
Yes.
Is
all
that
you
our
gotta do.
website? Oh,
Did
good.
you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
I'm glad I
Great.
could teach you.
SisterPowerSisterhood.com. Check it out. Get
Come
the book.
see us.
Go see them. Lovely, lovely, lovely to have you. It's been a pleasure and an absolute delight.
Well,
Thank you so much for having us.
Oh, our
We
pleasure.
talk in unison.
I like it. I like it. I
Thank
like
you,
it.
thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much.
We did it.
Thank you, guys.
We good?